fuck? Man. Today's Tuesday or Monday? Shit, I think it's Tuesday, man. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get me a cream cheese bagel this morning. I really don't wanna, whatever. I'm up early, man. I couldn't sleep. I woke up. I tried to go back to sleep, but that shit did not work for me, man, at all. I might work out today, I might not. Ugh. All right, so topic. When men get the bag, standards kick in hard, bro. Well, when you got a lot of options, you can afford to have standards. So it's kind of like women on the internet, on dating sites. They got all these standards and shit like that because they got options, bro. When you got a lot of options, you can afford to have standards. You know what I'm saying? So when a man get a bag, when he becomes rich, all of a sudden the standards just go up high because the man got options. I know, like when you broke, you know, your options are probably like not that high. Matter of fact, they're not that high. When you're broke, you just ain't got high standards at all because, you know, you got very little options or whatever. So you're not picky and you can't afford to be picky. You feel what I'm saying? But when you get the bag, all of a sudden you become picky. You know, she got to be this tall. You know, she got to be having long legs, long hair. You know, all of a sudden them standards kick in when you get the bag. So that's what happens, man. Men become rich. They get the bag. And they got standards, man. It's good, man. It feels good to have standards. It feels good not to having to settle for like a land whale or some shit like that. Or an old chick. I seen guys with very little standards and they settle very easily, man. I remember this guy, his name was Adonai. He used to work at the club that I used to go to. It was him and Arabic Chad, right? They both worked at the club. And Adonai, he had very little options, man. Matter of fact, he had way less options than I did. He settled with a woman that was way older than him. I think he was in his 30s at the time, and she was in her 40s. You know, but he couldn't afford to have standards, man. You know, the guy was broke, average looking at best. You feel what I'm saying? And couldn't afford to have standards. But once you get the bag, all of a sudden, you become picky. You start talking about how short they are. You know, like what? You 5'1"? Oh, that's too short. Gotta throw her back. Like what? You got short hair? Nah, I'm good with the short hair. You know, they start nitpicking at any little thing. Any little thing that's wrong with the female, in their eyes, they nitpick at it until they run up on a dime piece, you know, and then they're not so picky no more. But after a while, the average woman is no good for them no more, right? Or it's not enough for them anymore. She average looking at best. It's not good enough for like a guy of high status. You feel what I'm saying? Because you go through those. And you keep wanting more and more, you know? She got to be this tall. She got to have long legs. You know? I prefer, if I had the bag, I prefer a female that's just as tall as me. So that way when we have children, you know, the kids won't be short. They'll be average height or above average height. You know what I'm saying? You know, I prefer that. But no shorty pants, you know. We don't want no shorty pants, man. We try to create taller babies. You know, I seen guys out here all the time, man, with females that are around their same height. You know, because they don't want any short children, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's possible to get a female around your same height. It's a lot challenging, especially if you don't have any money. It's getting darker and darker. Damn. The sun not up yet. Normally the sun would be up. It's getting darker and darker earlier now. You see how dark it is right now, guys? It's 7 o'clock almost. Well, what time am I saying? Okay, no, it's 6 o'clock. It is 6 o'clock. Sorry, I got up early. I'm tripping. But yeah, man, it feels good to have standards when you got the bag. Or the other way around. When you got the bag, it feels good to have standards. Because then you don't have to settle for the lesser things in life, man. I feel guys who ain't got money, they got to settle. They're forced to settle. They can't afford to have standards and all that other stuff, man. Nah. Not when you at the bottom of the barrel. You feel me? You know. Not when you at the bottom of the barrel, you ain't got no bread. You just straight up just broke for no apparent reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why men get the bag, man, so they don't have to settle for less and shit like that, bro. You feel me? I mean, who wants to settle for less, though? You know? Who wants to settle? Nobody wants to settle, bro. A lot of cats, they have to settle when they ain't got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I hit multiple jackpots and my money is good, you know, and I got my shit totally together, why do I have to settle? I don't have to. Don't have to. You know, because you got options. It's all about having a lot of options for a man, bro. You know, forget all that drought shit. Forget all that not having a girlfriend for 8 years bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You want to have options always. A man gotta have options. Because I hate that, like, backed into the corner feeling. I hate that. Being cornered. Being forced to settle. You know what I'm saying? I hate that. They just back you into the corner. You gotta settle now, bro. Yeah, bro. You gotta settle now. You ain't got no bread. You ain't got no money. You broke. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't want to be backed into no corner, man. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. You know, a lot of cats stay backed into the corner, man. They ain't got their money right. You know, they just force you to settle. That's what I mean, bro. You know? So I don't want to be forced to settle, bro. You feel me? What's up with Dorian? Eight years is a long time to be single and no family. Yeah, it is a long time to be that single. Plus, I haven't been really like going out there chasing females. A lot of the time, I've been chasing the bag instead of going out there trying to find sex. Because I think I could find a girlfriend, man. She'll be lesser than me. You feel what I'm saying? I can go find something, but I choose to chase the bag instead. But you're right. That's a long time to be without somebody. Because when I was out there trying to get a girlfriend, like, you know, back before the pandemic had started, and that seems like that wasn't all that long ago. I was struggling to get a girl, man. Now, I would meet females up at bars and clubs. I even would like make out with females, and I still couldn't lock them down. It was hard to lock something down. So I became really desperate, and I started scaring females away. They can smell the desperation on you, bro. And that's why I want to have the bag, man. So that way I don't have to go through that struggle to get something locked down. Because your body, I don't care what nobody says, man, your body is built to have sex. And you're supposed to have it at least 3 times a week. For an older man like me, I need at least 3 times a week. And you want to be in a position where I got options and I always have a girlfriend by my side. Even if I lose one, I can find another one really quickly instead of having to, have that one-itis bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? I won't be just stuck on one. I'll have many. Instead of going through hella droughts and shit and, very difficult to find sex. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to be in that position. That's why I'm chasing the bag. I'm after power. You know what I'm saying? I want money and power. You know what I'm saying? That's why guys go after it. Why men go after power. So they can dominate the scene, bro. They don't want to be at the bottom of the barrel looking around for scraps and not get nothing at all or whatever. It's like, that's the worst position to be in as a man. With no money, just basically broke, unless you're a Chad or a Tyrone, then, you won't be having no droughts, even though you broke, but these guys are different, bro. Chads and Tyrones, they don't have to have money and status. All they gotta be is just them and show up to like parties and they get women. Like the Chaz and Tyrone's, they automatically like get women's eye, bro. Like if I was a Tyrone and I came to this this cafe every single day, I wouldn't be single right now. I would have a girlfriend. Matter of fact, I probably would be dating some of the women behind the counter. But since I'm just an average older guy, you know what I'm saying, in his 40s, with no money, I'm going to struggle. You know what? When I was younger, I don't remember struggling this much to get females' attention. I lost that spark once I hit my upper 30s or my 40s or some shit like that. I lost the allure that I used to have when I was younger. When I was younger, I used to have women staring at me from a distance, females getting with me. It was a lot easier to find sex, not because of the internet, because I was younger and I was in my prime. So now I'm out of my prime now, and it's a lot harder to attract with just looks. That's why I say the bag right now is most important. It gets harder and harder to attract with just your looks. I don't care how much you work out. It's not going to be the same as it was when you was in your 20s, when you could just make a female just look at you, man, and approach you and shit. I used to be approached by females, bro, when I was younger, man. I used to get the digits, man, and be in the coochie so quick. That's how I met Gwen, bro. I was in my prime. I was in my 20s. Face tighter, no double chin, no extra hanging fat. I was at low percentage body fat too, man. I was at what? I was at like what, 11, 10% body fat? Sharp jawline, just hella young and shit. You know what I'm saying? But now, them days of just attracting women with just looks, it's over. How you doing? What's up with it? Lost ton. That's how you pronounce your name? Lost ton. How you doing? Bro, it's natural. It's called aging. Yeah, I know. And it fucking sucks. All I could do is just keep on working out and try to slow down the aging process. But my face is shrinking. I used to have a bigger, wider face, man. And it's just that 45-year-old man shit is kicking in, man. You just all kinds of old. Now it's time to start to lead with the wallet after a while, bro. It's like, that's just the way it is, guys. It's just like, you can't lead with your looks no more. You get past a certain age, that leading with your looks, it just goes out the window. Time to start leading with the wallet. You feel what I'm saying? And some guys, the younger guys, they don't understand. Older men lead with our wallet because of our age. It's not because we simping and shit, but it's just like because when the looks start leaving, man, that's all you have is your wallet. And looks fade over time. Yeah, we just said that, man. You know what I'm saying? He said, could you hop on Roy's again and be Hellcat X again? I don't think I ever use steroids again, bro. I just don't think I'm gonna mess with that. I did it for 1 year, man. You feel me? I did it for 1 year. I think that was just an experiment, man. But yeah, like I said, man, it gets harder and harder as you get older to attract women with just your looks. That's why dudes start pulling out the wallet. The younger guys talking about never lead with your wallet. I was like, that's easy for you to say, bro. You are young. I'm not young like you, bro. I'm still young compared to other, all the other old people that's 60 and 70. But after a while, you 45, man. You're dating a young 20-something-year-old female. Best believe it's not a lustful thing. It's a transactional relationship. That's what uh that's what Tyrese thought it was when he was dating that young model. He thought it was, you know, he thought it was real love in his eyes. No, you're like old enough to be her daddy, bro. Uh, it's not real love. Transactional all the way, and it fucking sucks, bro. What's up with it? Cradle in the house. And someone said Kelcat X. That's when I was on the roids, man. That shit eats away at the fat on your body, bro. You feel me? That's back when I was on roids, nigga. I would have to get back on roids to become Kelcat X. Can't do it if I'm off of it. And plus, I don't think Kelcat X will ever be coming back ever again. Kelcat getting old, man. I don't feel that. I don't feel that grit I used to have, man. Like that testosterone is not even there no more, man. To be Kelcat X, you gotta have a little bit more testosterone in your body. You know, that's why you take the steroids to bring it up. Can you please take steroids and become Kelcat X again? I don't know about that, man. But my thing is money, man. Because I can see that my looks are fading and my allure toward women is fading. It's not really that easy anymore to be attracting them with just looks. And it sucks because it's, like you said, you're aging. I'm getting more gray hairs and wrinkles and stuff, man. So it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just keep on trying to go to bars and clubs and leave with my looks? Can't do that no more, man. Gray hairs, wrinkles, that kicks in after a while, man. And then the wallet got to kick in. You know? Especially with the young ones. You know, these females, they can look at me and they can tell that I'm older. I'm not in my 20s. I don't look like I'm in my 20s, bro. They can look at me and be like, oh, he's like 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A lot of them think I'm in my 30s and shit. You know. Some females think I'm like 40, you know. Yep. Yeah, getting the body right is cool, but the face will always stay number one. Yeah, the face and the height is number one, bro. Face and height. I feel like my face is shrinking. They say like when you get older, your face shrink. Yeah, it does. As you get older, man, I used to have a wider and broader face, bro, like 5 years ago. And now I'm like shrinking, bro. And let me know that, hey, man, we ain't living forever, man. Eventually, we're gonna meet our doom. Eventually, keep on living. We gonna tap out, man. Eventually, you know. Yeah, they pay attention to how much fat you got on your face. Do you work out? I mean, working out helps as an older man, but you're still an older man, so it just helps that you're in shape. But it makes a slight difference, but it doesn't make a huge difference. Like I remember when I was on steroids, I was 37 years old. And I thought that because I was at very low percentage body fat, I thought I was gonna jump into some coochie like I thought I was gonna be swimming in coochie. Nuh-uh. You still in your 30s, man. That's why old and alone sucks, man, because then you can't even lead with your looks, man. No more. You don't have a wallet to lead with, so you're doomed. You're finished. If you got money, you'll never be alone, bro. Being old and alone scares me, man. That's why I'm on this bag chase right now. You know? And that way I can have standards. I don't have to settle, man. You know, after a while, guys, it becomes more about your wallet. Just remember that. That's all I gotta say. You know, we all getting older out here, man, and the bag is a must-have for an older man. A man past 40, gotta have the bag, bro. Or it's gonna get worse, man, as we get older. You know? So that way we can have standards, man. You got the bag, you got standards, bro. You can afford to have standards. If you ain't got the bag, you gotta settle for whatever life gives you, bro. Whatever women you're able to attract, you gotta take them. Simple as that. If you're broke. But if you got money, I can afford to have standards. I'd be like, no shorty pies right here. Nope, no, all tall women. Women past 5'5". She gotta be past 5'5", man. You know, no flat booties. I hate flat booties. You know what I'm saying? No flatty flats. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna go in here and charge this phone, and I'll make another video when I come out of Starbucks. Hey, you know how I do it every single day, man. The same thing every single day. Go to Starbucks, fly my sign, turn my numbers in. That's it. You guys have a good day. I'll see you guys when I come out of here. Peace.